Good evening and welcome to the Tune Review, where we are match reaction live with myself and Mr. Proudluck. Good evening, Peter.
How are you doing, mate?
Obviously, just done the watch along with you. Peter's deputising for Jade tonight because she's still unwell. So Peter's kindly offered to come on and co-host the show. Where do we start, Peter? I mean, obviously, did the watch along with you. Just again, boring from the off, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, it was. I mean, yes, we got the win, but again, it's just depressing to watch. I mean, it's the passing back which really boils my pee a lot of the time, and and I've said it before. It's like watching Steve Bruce's style of football. This.
It is. I mean, we said on the watch along, didn't we, that all of us mentioned that we'd had to put up with such terrible football all season under Steve Bruce, and then we look to our national side for a bit of inspiration, and we end up having to watch the same bloody football that we've played all season.
And that's just unbelievable, isn't it?
It just does my head, and there's no way this team is good enough at all to progress. No way.
Absolutely no chance. I mean, if we come up against one of the top sides, they'll be rubbing their hands together and thinking, we've been watching England. They've been really, really, really bang average. We fancy a chance of dumping them out early doors.
I mean, we know we've got the big boys in the next round because we've won the group. So it's either going to be France, Portugal, or Germany. So at the minute, I cannot see us beating them. Not in a million miles. Chippers, we were that shit. A win feels like a defeat. Southgate is simply not cut out for it at this level. Simple as that. Tony says to our Scottish brethren, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, F off. Yeah, we'll probably get a few of them. Tony says, boring football, Paul, but here we're through, so it is what it is. Yeah, I mean, we are through, and that is the very, very slight positive that's come out of this match.
That's the only positive.
Yeah,
the football is just absolutely dross.
I mean, the team selection wasn't any better, was it? To be fair, I mean, yes, he went with Grealish tonight. Saka, who was for me man of the match, I think.
He was brilliant. Oh, I do.
It was just nice to see some people running at the ball, but again, Kane just ineffective, just completely non-existent.
Absolutely.
We have Declan Rice, who, he was taken off at half time. I just think he was very average again. And, there just wasn't, there's no spark. There's no fast build up. There's no, let's get into it. Let's get stuck into them. Let's get a few goals. There is nothing like that going on the pitch.
There's not, is there? Gareth Southgate's probably been copying off Steve Bruce or looking at Steve Bruce this week because it's identical to what we're playing. It just really, really is. And it's just, it's depressing. And when the last 16 game comes for us, oh God, there'll be absolute nervy moments.
Yeah, I mean, what's his problem with Sancho? I mean, what is his problem? I mean, clearly there's an issue there that we're not being told about.
You wouldn't like to wonder what it is, because so many goals and assists in the Bundesliga, and yet he's only played about 7 minutes.
16 goals and 20 assists this season he's had for Dortmund, which is incredible for someone so young. But obviously he's not getting the opportunity, just a waste of time.
But it's because Southgate has his favourites as well, and that's why we're not progressing as a country in these major tournaments. We're great in the qualifiers, but when we're in the actual competition, we look all over the place.
Well, the qualifiers aren't anything to base it on, other because the opposition's just not good enough.
Exactly. I mean, who do we play in the qualifiers? San Marino, Macedonia, whoever.
They're just nowhere near England standard.
There's not.
It's poor. Billy says that was harrowing. Hope the knockout stages release the shackles, but I'm not holding my breath. I don't think you release any shackles. I think if anything, he's going to put more shackles on.
Certainly is at this rate.
Terry says another crap performance from England. Can't say anything else. Tony says, PD Hegarty, good of you to take time off the chase to be with us.
God, man.
Thomas says, thank God we got out of the bloody group. And he says, controlled and assured.
We didn't control the game. No chance. Absolutely no chance.
And, second from Group F, oh dear. Yeah, so it's one of them from the group of death. Which the thing is, we've always known this would happen, and we did say on the watch along that to win these kind of tournaments, you do have to beat the best. So whether it be in the round of 16 or the final, it doesn't really matter, does it? You've got to beat the best.
Oh, you do, because I mean, is that really progressing? Playing all these average sites to try and get to as further as we can. I mean, it just goes back to the 2018 World Cup. I mean, Tunisia, Panama, Colombia, we only just scraped them on a penalty shootout.
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Billy says, play well for the first 15, 20 minutes and then go into the back pass mode. Shame because we have some real quality in the squad. Yeah, we said that during the watch-along, but they don't play to our better players' advantage. Bye-bye, Scotland, says Thomas. Musical Magpie says, how can Southgate make top players look so average?
Because he's tactically inept manager. He's just like Bruce, tactically inept, doesn't have a clue, and should not be anywhere near this manager job.
Yeah. Keith says football was awful. Out and about with Rob says, what a load of pony. Just saying. Annie says Rice did what he had to do. Annie, I don't know what kind of game you were watching, my man, but
he was freaking anonymous.
Yeah, I didn't see anything from him in the game at all. Andrew says Southgate, take the shackles off, man. Yeah, completely agree. Ryan says stuffed like a chicken next round. What would Bruce do differently from Southgate? I don't think he'd do anything differently, Pete. I think he'd play exactly the same way. I think the football is pretty much identical.
It is. It's identical. It's predictable. And you know what is going to happen. You know what is going to happen. Sideways, backways, you name it. You name it.
It's just not worth even thinking about what the likes of the big boys are going to do to England. Gareth, safety first, Southgate. Andrew says Rashford. Why?
I mean, he's not that great.
No.
What do people say in him?
No, I don't. This has been my issue for a long time now. Is that I just do not see what Marcus Rashford offers. He's been playing very poorly for Man United. Now, apparently, he's actually injured and he needs 2 operations. So why is he in the squad?
Exactly. Why are you bringing a player to the tournament if he needs an operation? Why bring him?
Yeah, exactly. It makes
You've got to play
sense.
harsh. You've got to Southgate. He's got to play harsh with them. Says like the likes of Rashford you've just mentioned, Henderson. If you're not fit, I'm sorry, you can't come. End of story.
Yeah,
but he doesn't do that.
No. Tangy says I watched both games and I enjoyed watching Scotland more than England. There you go. Tony says Declan Rice is an old-fashioned DM. We need a ball progressor in that position. I just don't see the need for 2 defensive midfielders tonight against the Czech Republic. I think had we gone at them, I think the talent we have up front, we could have won by a few goals had he really taken the shackles off. But this is what I mean about Southgate. He just bottles it, man.
He does. It's like he could have brung James Ward-Prowse, a really good, decent, creative centre midfielder, great on set pieces.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Stick to what he knows, stick to his favourites, and we'll move on from there. Paul says just trying to bore the opposition into defeat. We've got no chance against a decent team.
No.
Keith says what a load of poo-poo. Thomas says sorry lads, got to go to bed, got an early start in the morning. Good night everyone. Look after yourself, Thomas. Are the players underperforming or are they limited by the manager's tactics? I think it's
a manager because what's he good? What's he been brilliant at, Southgate? I mean, Middlesbrough relegated the last time he took charge.
Yeah.
I think he finished bottom with the under-21s in the 2015. What tournament it was that we played, I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure he finished bottom.
It was the summer tournament or something, wasn't it? And then he gets promoted to the England job because he's there and he's an easy option for the FA, which is a shocking way to get the England manager's job, to be honest. Yes. Tony says we need to step back. Once we've been kicked out of this competition, look at building the side around Sancho, Saka and Bellingham. Yeah, I'd agree. I don't want Southgate continuing at all. My light nearly fell over there. I don't agree with I mean, I'd be petrified if Southgate was to continue on as manager, to be honest.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what's Southgate going to do if and when we go 1-0 down? He'll have no plan B like Steve Bruce.
No, he won't. He definitely won't.
He doesn't have a plan B when we're 0-0 with Scotland. So
exactly. I mean, that game was dross enough.
It doesn't really matter about falling 1-0 down. If we fall behind, we ain't coming back.
No chance.
Billy says Hungary will probably sneak second in that group, knowing Southgate's luck. Oh God, can you imagine?
But Hungary, I mean, don't write them off.
No, they're not that bad. They're not that bad, but I just can't see that, Peter. I can't.
No, true, but I mean,
Junior. Sorry, go on.
Yeah, they got a decent point against France, but yeah, still, I can see where you come from.
Junior, good evening. If France draw against Portugal, he will be England-France round of 16. Oh God, can you imagine that? I mean, if we get France in the round of 16, we are gone. Absolutely
exactly.
Gone.
Griezmann, Benzema, Mbappe. That attack of three is deadly.
Just run riot, won't they?
So deadly it is.
They will just run riot.
Well. I think he does well for his country.
Yeah, Kante, Kante and Pogba they'll just outdo our midfield. No problem. Chipper says, see, Dog and Tails is on Channel 4 will be a better watch than that 90 minutes. That's just probably your kind of show, Chippers, to be honest. Joshua, good evening. After we scored our goal, we just stopped playing football. It was awful to watch, and Scotland played better football than England. Where have we seen that before, Peter? Scoring a goal and then just sitting back?
Seen it at Newcastle plenty of times. We've seen that plenty of times.
All season. Yeah. Imagine if we knock France, Portugal, or Germany out of the Euros. It would definitely boost morale amongst the players and fans, as well as sending the perfect message about England going forward.
Well, it'd be great if we did that, but can you see that? Because I said can't.
Nah, absolutely not. Not on the form we're on. Annie says we did control the game, Peter. Czechs didn't have one massive chance in the game, and that's because our defence was excellent again. Southgate has tactics spot on today, even with the boring football.
Yeah, but how is passing backwards, sideways every time controlling a game of football? Yeah, controlling a game of football is where you keep going, running at the opposition, try and make sure you set up plenty of chances as well.
Yeah.
I mean,
thing is, we're playing the Czech Republic, man. We're not playing France or Portugal. We're playing the Czech Republic. Exactly. We should be thumping these teams.
Yep.
Not boring football and going for a 1-0 win. Are we, Annie? Neither one of you support Bristol City. Andrew says, sideways passing, you ain't going to win anything doing that.
No chance.
Annie then says, what are we expecting Rice to do? Score goals? No, to shield the back line and go under the radar. Tangy says Southgate will be sacked Wednesday morning. I take it means next Wednesday after the round of 16 game.
If we can, we should just do what Hodgson did back at the previous Euros. Just say that's enough.
Yep, I've had it. Billy says, who did the Gilly Jockos play next round?
Oh, God.
I knew we'd get a dig in about the Jocks with Billy. Andrew's very quiet tonight. I thought, Andrew, was big in Scotland up on Friday night, but he hasn't come on the show tonight. Tony says Bruce would at least play a Mount at 8, arriving late in the box like Willock. Mount is not a number 10. I agree with that, actually. Mount is very similar to Joe Willock in that way that he arrives late into the box and can cause a lot of problems. Ryan says Southgate terrified to take any chances, all about protecting rather than attacking. The thing is, Pete, I mean, when he does come up against one of these big three in the round of 16, he's now got to, think, right, how do I approach this game? Because if he plays the terrified tactics of sitting back and protecting, the teams are just going to play around us. The teams are just going to walk around us.
Exactly. They will just do that, and we'll get absolutely rinsed completely. Maybe not by 3 goals. You could be looking at 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah, which will be embarrassing. I mean,
it will be.
But you can see that. You can see one of these big teams actually turning us over like that. Jody says, if you like ice cream, you can get 2 for £5 on Ben & Jerry's at Iceland. I won't be doing my Iceland impression because I have to go high-pitched for that, Jody, and the kids are in bed. Why aren't England making the most of set pieces?
Because
I'll tell you why. because we don't have James Ward-Prowse, who is the
No.
perfect man to be taking set pieces for England. But Southgate decided to leave him out for Ben White, who hasn't even had a sniff of getting even on the pitch, to be fair.
No.
So for me, that was the biggest mistake that Southgate made before we even came into the tournament.
Exactly. I mean, for someone who's had delivered a lot of set pieces perfect for Southampton, and Southgate's like, bugger it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just go with me same old favourites who I like going with every single time. You need to know when to change things up at times. You need to look at players who've been playing on form for their clubs, because if you just pick the same players every time who are simply not good enough, what's that tell you? How far we're going to go?
Exactly. It doesn't install you with any confidence, does it?
No.
To be fair. Ryan says Southgate is shit, but be nice to see a player stand out and take the game by the balls. Yeah, but they're not going to do that if the manager's told them to play a certain way. You know, I mean, Saka tonight, yes, he got I said this on the watch along, Peter. You know, the Saka and Grealish, when they got the ball, it was nice to see them sort of running at defenders and trying to take them on. And Saka did that for the first goal. Obviously, did a lot of work on the right. It then came to Grealish on the left, and he clipped it across for Sterling to head home. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Players running at defenders. But the manager is not allowing them to do that.
Exactly.
And that's the problem. Will Southgate be sacked after the tournament? Will Bruce take up the job if approached?
Oh, God.
God. Holy cow. Steve Bruce, England manager, there would be a thing. That would be a thing. You'd be amazed how many Southgate fans are out there. I got loads of abuse for suggesting he was just Bruce with a waistcoat. I know, but you always get that. You always get the PC brigade. Saka was man of the match, said Keith. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Same.
Ryan says, great to get the win, but I worried about Kane. I blame Spurs and City for the £100 million bid. Harry said, wait till after the Euros. Look, that's not bothering Harry Kane at the minute, right? I can tell you now, that will not be interfering with his play. The bottom line is something else is wrong with Harry Kane. Now, whether that's down to fitness or whether it's down to a niggly injuries carrying, but again, Peter, it goes down to the same thing. If that's the case, leave him out. Just because he's England captain does not make him undroppable.
Exactly. You've got to know when to play harsh with them. And if they're simply not performing, you should be looking to say, I think you need a game or two out on the bench, at least, and give someone like a Calvert-Lewin an opportunity. We've brought him to the tournament. Why not give him an opportunity? And I don't want to see. And Rashford's not the answer as well. I mean,
what did he do when he came on? Did you even notice he was on the pitch?
Not really.
I certainly didn't. Tom says, dreadful game. England need to play much better on Tuesday if they want to progress further. Southgate has never filled me with confidence. He's too timid. Timid is, Saka, great performance from the lad, says Andrew. Couldn't agree more. God, these bloody... Joshua, I take it he means Saka again. Tom says, Kane doesn't look interested at all. Annie not conceding. Yes, we haven't conceded
a goal, but the football is garbage.
Have we played a really top team with a top forward line?
No, we
yet?
haven't.
No.
We've played Croatia, who weren't great. We've played Scotland. We played for a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
And we played against the Czech Republic, and the football has been absolutely dross.
Yeah, I know. It's just... coming up, I mean, you're talking about, the Croatian front line or Scotland's front line or the Czech's front line. And then you look at Portugal's front line. You've got Ronaldo, who can win a game on his own. They've still got Jota up front as well. And so he's no slouch. And you look at France, their front three, Mbappe, Griezmann and Benzema. And then you look at the Germans, they've got strikers. They've got players who can score goals, so... England are going to come under a lot bigger test when we play one of these teams, and for me and a lot of other people, they're going to come undone against them teams.
Exactly.
Ryan says, "Imagine I won the lottery. I'd go on holiday to see prostitutes, but I won't win." That's an interesting one, Ryan. Joshua said, "Saka had a great performance. Should start on Tuesday." Yeah, I agree, but he probably won't. Do you think if CR7 is on form, he can help Portugal get a result against France and qualify for the next round? Well, France aren't firing in all cylinders yet. I mean, they haven't really been at the best in the first two games.
They actually haven't, no. I mean, I think that Germany game, I thought I thought France were going to have Germany all over the place, but no, not really. And only got a point against Hungary. Huh?
Yeah, thing is,
But
we know what the Germans are like, Pete. You know, everybody writes them off. Everybody writes them off until it comes to a tournament, and then suddenly, bang, they turn it on. The Italians are turning it on. I'd like to see how the Italians do against, stronger opposition. I think that's going to be difficult for them. But they are 30 games unbeaten, and you can't take that away from them. They're a good side. But the games are going to be very interesting in Group F. Finishing off, because as an England fan, we're going to be glued to see who we actually get in the next round.
Yeah.
We had 7 defensive players on the pitch tonight. Is there any need? Well, that just says it all, doesn't it? 7 defensive players against the Czechs. Kane literally just gets in the way. Billy Gilmore versus Mount. Who is the better? I like Mason Mount. I'm not going to say anything.
I do like Mount as well.
Yeah. Andrew says, "Where's Andrew then? Must be in the worst toilet in Scotland, being sick." I very much doubt he's going to come on and make a comment tonight, because he'll just get hammered. All Kane is interested in his big money move to Manchester City. Billy says, "I agree with Annie. Rice did the job he was asked to do. Phillips is the one who has gone missing since the Croatia game, and that is down to Southgate playing him out of position." I mean, people are going to have an opinion on it, Peter. It's just the way we are.
I didn't think Rice offered anything throughout the game. I can agree. I didn't think Phillips again was at his best, but again, it's we're playing two DMs. There's your answer, and it's just.
I don't know. I don't know what the answer is at the minute. I don't know. No. I don't know why you're being so negative, lads. We've just topped our group and not conceded a single goal in the group stage.
Yeah, Annie, the football is crap. It's not good. Sideways, backwards. How is that good football?
He's not understanding, is he? Bless him. He's not getting it. I mean, yes, of course, we're happy England are through, but come on, Annie. We've got to look. We've got to look forward here to see who they're playing next, and we're playing France, Germany, or Portugal. And can you honestly see us playing that kind of football, getting through? Because I mean, Annie, to be fair, I mean, we've watched a lot more football than you have at your young, tender age, mate. And trust me when I say that England will not make it through the round of 16. And if they do, I'll be as happy as any England fan. But at the minute, we have to be realistic. It's not us being negative. We're being realistic, Annie. The football is terrible. Southgate is making mistake after mistake after mistake with his team selection, his substitutions. His tactics are dreadful. And, we went out not to lose against Scotland, not to lose, rather than go out to win. And we've done the same tonight. And yeah, we've won the game 1-0. But Jesus Christ, I mean, come on. This isn't being negative. It's being realistic.
Exactly.
Ryan says, countless mistakes made by Southgate. He's a joke. Andrew says Mount as well. Andrew is in his local working men's club. They aren't CIU clubs in Jockland. They are just CU clubs. Oh, dear. Archer, if we play France, Germany, Portugal, Southgate needs to play Dominic Calvert-Lewin, drop Kane, play Sancho, and keep Jack in the starting lineup. Harry Kane just looks not himself. You kind of disagree with comments like that because you just can't stick up for Harry Kane the way he's playing at the minute. He just looks lost.
He does. He's dropping back there too far deep. He missed an easy chance tonight, I thought. Mm-hmm. Any other striker would have probably buried that.
Yeah, I agree. That. I mean, like I said to you in the watch along, Peter, when the second half, that chip came over his head.
Yeah.
Now, normally when he's playing for Tottenham, you see Son doing that, clipping little balls in like that. And Kane is onto them in a flash. He brings the ball down all in one motion and smashes it in the back of the net. That is why I just think something is not right with Harry Kane. He just looks off the pace. Something is not quite right. Exactly. And it's a shame because we know Harry Kane is a good player. I mean, I don't think he's world class like everybody else does. I don't think he is world class. Not yet. Until he's actually gone somewhere big and won something and things like that. That'll make him world class. I don't think he's at that stage yet. Do I think he's an excellent player, an excellent striker? Yes, I do. I think he's a great finisher as well.
Oh, he is.
But something is not right. It is. Just, Tangy says, I hear people saying Southgate going with favourites, but let's face it, 95% of the Premier League is not English players. I mean, yeah, that's a debate for another day, Tangy, but I think that the actual English players that he has available to him right now should be doing a lot better, Peter, than what he is.
Exactly, yep, should be. I mean, we said it, Tyrone Mings, how is he playing at international level? Sorry, but Marcus Rashford, he's not brilliant.
Yeah.
I could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Really.
Guys, this is only going to be about a 40-minute show tonight because obviously it's a school night. And I understand that people need to get the kip in for work and obviously kids, etc. So it'll only be about 40 minutes tonight. So we've got about 15 minutes left of the show. So if you want to get your comments in, smash them in now. If you are enjoying the show, hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel if you are new. And also head across to Peter's channel, which is PD Proudlock on YouTube, and get subscribed to him as well. And if you want to donate to the channel, then you can hit the super chat button at the bottom of the comments. Just hit the $sign and that'll take you through. Niall says Croatia deserve to win. I'm gutted tonight as a Scotland fan. Modric always turns up in the big moments. That's why he's still world class. Yeah, commiserations, Niall, because I know you're a Scotland fan. But I mean, we saw that goal on during the England game. That absolute belter from Modric. Geordie says Southgate needs to use the 4-3-3 formation with either Foden or Mount behind Kane. I think we play a lot better. I mean, I said before the game, I'd like to see Grealish on the left, Sancho on the right, and Foden behind Kane. I think that would be a really good, strong attacking lineup because let's face it, he's not going to drop Kane.
No.
He's just not going to drop him. So
he's not.
We may as well. We have to talk about other players playing around Harry Kane and not who can come in for Kane because he's not going to drop him. Never in a million years.
The thing.
Kane should have squared the ball to Sterling. Yeah, we spoke about that in the first half.
Should have done that. Yeah,
same as what it was in the World Cup. Why did Saka start over Sancho? Look, at the end of the day, I think starting Saka was a good decision because he was man of the match.
He was. He was brilliant the night. Saka, he really, really was. Yeah.
Saka, class. Billy says, unlucky Niall, but at least you can be proud of your boys. Wish we could say the same. What's at R16? Asking for the jocks watching. Oh, that's cruel. That's cruel, Geordie. Ryan says, I honestly think Kane lacks the confidence on the big stage. That's why I think I understand he should be confident, but he's always negative for England. I mean, even in the World Cup, Pete, in 2018, he wasn't outstanding. A lot of his goals were penalties. Exactly,
yes. I mean, 2 penalties against Panama, Colombia, and 2 goals from open play against Tunisia.
And one off his arse. One that he didn't know anything about, but he got credit for the goal.
It's true, but yeah, it's not been great.
Interesting one from Musical Magpie saying, should Southgate rotate the squad like how Mancini did with Italy? I personally think, Peter, that obviously Mancini was in a lot stronger position to do what he did and change 8 players out from the original team that started the tournament. When we're talking about Southgate, tonight was a real. I mean, had we lost tonight, we could have been in a very, very different situation. So I don't think we were in the same position that Mancini was to do that.
No, I mean, you look at that Italy side, and they've got the players in that side. Southgate has got favouritism, and he's got bang average players in there as well. Yeah,
exactly. What did you make of Southgate excuse for not playing Sancho? Lack of experience. When he plays others with less, clueless. Was that his excuse tonight, was it, on his interview?
Oh, God.
Dear God. Honestly. Really? I mean,
it's like Steve Bruce all over again. Similar
lack of experience. The guy's played all season in the Bundesliga, in the Champions League, etc. What more experience does he need?
And Man United won him for a reason.
Yeah, but how's he going to get experience, Gareth? You play the game. Oh, man, honestly. Serious. Looking at the England videos, Sanchez is always late out of bed. I know that sounds petty, but I think Gareth would hate that. That's not a reason, Tony.
Oh, God. Late out of bed.
I don't know. Annie says he's not going to change his playing style overnight after years of work on it. He's been doing this for years. Yes, Annie, and that's why he shouldn't be even close to the England manager job because he's not good enough. Agree with Kane being dropped. Reminds me of Bruce with Shelby. Never drops him. That's a good point. Joshua says he won't start because Southgate is a shit manager. Sorry for language, just telling facts. Denmark dark horses, plenty of spirit under the circumstances of what happened. Well, can I just say, who said Denmark were going to be the dark horses in the tournament? I believe it was me. Billy says Portugal and Pepe in particular ain't going to be able to hold the French front three. Diaz is going to have to do some covering. Well, time will tell. But like I say, France need to step it up a little bit.
Pepe's still playing.
And what is he, 500 now? I think he's touching 40, actually, isn't he? I'm pretty sure. England versus Germany is a match I can see everyone being up for, given the history between both nations. Yeah, the fans will be up for it. The English fans, the German fans, and the German players. England, you just never know. Carl says we need to step it up for the next game, but can't see it happening. Who would you rather play next week? Portugal, France, or the Germans? For me, France, as they look to be least in form, still beat us though. Who would you want, Peter? If you were, being totally honest, who would you want out of those three?
Oh God. Because I think that all they would all be. It's oh man.
I mean, I can understand them saying France look to be the least in form at the minute, but it's a different kettle of fish when you're coming up against a side like England, who are totally static.
Exactly. I mean, I think I would go with France.
Yeah,
because.
But the fact is, like we said earlier, Peter, if anybody who's going to win a football tournament, you've got to beat the best around you. So it doesn't matter what round you're playing, you've got to beat the best. Ryan says, Annie sounds like the press defending the cabbage. So, yeah, you do actually, Annie. You sound like the press tonight. That Belgian player, who? Is he trying to be a funny name there? I'm not even going to... I don't know. Tony says, Rice offered nothing. He's a destroyer, not a progressor, so old school. Andrew says, Annie, are you friends with Chris Sutton? Judy says, I only saw 10 minutes of the second half and I couldn't believe how much back passing we did into and across our own box. The German-French press is going to be 3 times as intense. Yeah. DCL is a decent enough striker with the right service from Sterling, Sancho and Grealish, etc. to be able to score or assist goals. Who does that? Andrew, I really don't know who he is. Geordie said Kane is a poor man Shearer. Right, we'll just rattle through some of these comments before we get to the end of the... At club level, I mean. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know. Franklin says, how you guys think Kane will do in the system at City? We spoke about this on the watch along with Harry Kane, possibly going to Man City. And, he's the thing about that is he's not going to play as many games for City, so he will get plenty of rest. He won't be used in Carabao Cups or FA Cups when he's not needed. Yes, he may come on for 10 minutes at the end of a game or something like that, but he's going to get a lot more rest than he is at Tottenham, Pete.
Yeah, I totally agree with that because I know Man City like to change their attacking wise up front. I've seen that do the plenty of times because I've seen Aguero being on the bench quite a few times last season, I must say. So, yeah, if he's going to go there, he's got to get prepared for it.
Yeah. But I think Harry Kane will actually accept that because he's getting played far too much. Get Son a passport and stick him on with Kane and you'll see some goals. Billy says, what goes beep, beep, beep? The jock open top bus reversing back into the garage. Sean says, how are you today, Paul and Peter? We're good, thank you, mate. Andre, England should have went for the draw, should have played for the easier last 16 game, our next round. Yeah, well, I mean, you've got to beat the best, though, Andre, to be fair. Great show earlier, Peter, says Andrew.
Thanks very much.
I fancy Italy or Belgium for the tournament, says Tom.
Not a bad shout.
Do you know what it is, though, Peter? I think the tournament's wide open.
It is.
There's some very, very good teams in it, but nobody is excelling, massively favourites to win it. I think there's some good teams, and towards the back end of this tournament, I think we're going to see some fantastic ties.
Oh, I think there will be. There'll be more entertaining than our games by a long shot.
Yeah. And Tom says if Jamie Vardy didn't retire, Kane probably would have been dropped by now. Sancho has something like 16 goals and 20 assists for Dortmund, but he hasn't got experience. Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying. Do you prefer watching NUFC games or England games? None at the minute, because they're both exactly the same.
Yeah, true. But if I had to pick one, it'll definitely be Newcastle.
Oh, I'll keep Newcastle over England at any time. Great show, guys. Enjoyed this tonight. Thanks, Terry. Judy says they were right about the Turkey being dark horses. I just saw their whole squad being led into a glue factory. Oh, dear. Judy, man. Seriously. A glue factory. Lol, those turkeys got stuffed, says Tangy. Great show tonight, Paul and Peter. Katie Price offers more than Declan Rice. Chippers, man, seriously. Honestly,
gosh.
You know, we may as well start calling Chippers Mr. Lover on Twitter.
Oh,
honestly.
Yeah, man.
Toonza says England couldn't beat eggs. 10 years ago, Germany knocked us out of the World Cup and Lampard had a goal wrongly chalked off. We owe them one big time, so I would love to play them and possibly knock them out. I mean, if that doesn't get that, but that's what I mean. The fans will be well up for that, but it's how the players react to it.
It's yes, exactly.
It's a very, very big difference. Hi, Paul. Hi, Peter. How's you both doing? We're well, mate. What does everyone think of NUSC as announced friendlies?
Well, there should be teams that should be sweeping aside.
Yeah, just a bit. Yeah, even with the Harrogate and York game on the same day, playing a split squad, we should still win those games. I'm interested to see where Steve Bruce is going to go for them. Will he go to the Harrogate one? Will he go to the York one? Or will he put Graham Jones in charge of one, Pete?
It's gonna be interesting. Like I must say.
Tony says we will struggle against real opposition. What team and formation would you go next game? It depends who we play. You can't pick your team now, Tom, without knowing who it is we're playing, because you have to pick a team that you think is going to beat that opposition. It's three separate teams that we could go against, and you can't play the same team for each of those teams that we could come against. Andrew says, can't lie, loved seeing Scotland go out after how they went on after that draw. I saw the Scotland fans picking up a lot of rubbish out of London the other day. They were using these blue bin bags with white X's on them. Must be for recycling. I think France might win it. Geordie says, hopefully Southgate doesn't F it up against the Germans again if we get them. And Billy says, England should go like Man City and play without a centre forward, go with Foden, Sterling and Grealish and let them float about across the defence. Works for City. Southgate is not going to take that risk, Billy, is he? He's not exactly Guardiola, is he? Do you cookie, says Sean. Not sure what that means. Do you like cookie? I love a good cookie, Sean. Thanks for asking. I don't think England will have a sudden rush of adrenaline from the old rivalry with Germany. You saw how little playing Scotland meant to them. That's a good point. They didn't have anything against Scotland, so what's to say that hello, Mrs. Chipperfield, Judy. Oh, dear.
Oh, God, man.
Great stream, Paul and Peter. Never seen a team so static and so slow for it to play the ball forward. Well, not since watching the tune under Bruce anyway. Do you think Jones has told Southgate to go and play the way Bruce plays at Newcastle? No. I know Scotland won't win it. Tony says, I'm half Scottish and I'm devastated. Thanks for the stream, Paul and Pete. Stay great. Hi, Chippers, you gorgeous love machine. Oh
man.
Get a room. What are you trying to do, man? Double chocolate chip cookie, says Geordie. He likes them. Right. That's the end of the show tonight, guys. It's obviously a bit of a short show, 40 minutes long tonight, because of obviously being a work night and kids in bed and stuff like that. So I'm just pleased England didn't lose, and I would have to go on a very quiet sort of rage tonight. But look, we're through to the next round, and that's the major thing. We get to find out how we play very shortly. Obviously, there'll be a fan forum coming this week at some point, and also a preview for the upcoming game. Will it be France? Will it be Portugal? Or will it be Germany? Nobody knows yet, and it's going to be very interesting to see who it is. Peter, you think you want France in the next round? I don't think it really matters, to be honest. I mean,
well, it doesn't really, but
yeah, we've got to beat the best to go and win the tournament anyway.
I don't think we're confident it's going to happen.
Yeah. Judy's put a little comment in there. So, Paul, loved seeing your kids and dogs during the stream. Beautiful family. Thank you very much. Very proud of them, I am. But I mean, France, Germany, Portugal, whoever it may be, we have to play a lot better than we've been playing. That is an absolute certainty. But thank you very much for watching. Peter, thank you so much for stepping in for Jay tonight. Really appreciate it. And thanks for having me on your watch along. It was good fun as usual. And are you doing around 16 watch along? Yeah,
may as well. Yeah.
Cool. Right. Well, keep an eye on Peter's channel as well. That's PD Proudlock on YouTube, and also PD Proudlock on Twitter as well, if you want to give him a follow on there, and he'll keep you up to date with that watch along. Keep an eye on this channel for obviously Newcastle recordings, any transfer news or any news coming out of the club. Keep an eye out for them, and also obviously the fan forum coming up live. We'll do a match preview for the round of 16, and then obviously a match reaction straight after that as well. But in the meantime, guys, thank you very much for watching. We're through the next round. Enjoy the rest of your week. Good night. Be strong.